It's sweet. And you don't have to worry that somebody's head's going to blow open any minute. But I love Christmas. Christmas means just the world to me. And this movie, I don't have the movie situation. The movie situation is that my son, my own son, has died, and his wife has remarried. And therefore, she, taken my little beloved granddaughter into a new family, very fine family. But it's never going to be the same as when my son. The grief plus the change in the established, rather rigid, yes, I admit, Christmas traditions are giving me a difficulty. And it's not superficial. It's very deep and very heartfelt. I believe that almost every family in this country must have some version of it having to attempt to blend their families at Christmas. For those of us for whom Christmas is the big holiday of the year, both a religious and a secular aspect, it's the movie says something in an entertaining, kind of funny, and really sweet way. John Ratzenberger is the granddaddy on their side of the family. And he's a remarkable actor. I'd never met him before. Certainly never worked with him, He's really got the goods. Julie Warner I worked on Family Law, which is a wonderful series. And Stephen Eckholt, my new son-in-law, I did a film for Christmas called Comfort and Joy 2-3 years ago, and the children are precious. So I think, although I haven't seen it, that based upon the interviews that I've done with the newspaper journalists over the last couple of weeks, that this is being regarded as a good piece of work. I'm so happy about it. I haven't seen it. I'm just happy about it. And I hope that you and I and all of America will just turn the TV on with their families and cuddle up and get out the popcorn and watch this thing.
Well, I'm sure we will, because I always enjoy seeing you on TV. But that's because I think you're a wonderful actress.
Thank you, Andy.
Was this an easy role to get into, or did you have a little bit of difficulty at first with this?
My difficulty was that I know, after all these years, that the audience cries, you don't. And so I had to hold back or down, or however you put the emotional element that would come up in myself. I had to, it's not winning or interesting even to be pitiful on the screen. It's just not. It's the wrong thing to do. And this woman I empathize with tremendously. So from that aspect, there was a little bit of work that had to go into it. From the aspect of the people I was working for, the people I was working with, it was dreamy start to finish. Even though we filmed it out in hot Simi Valley part of the time, we did get to do part of the filming down in San Pedro, which is wonderful, on the water with the boats. But you would never know that you're not in, Connecticut, Wisconsin, somewhere very, very snowy and Christmassy. I loved it. I loved doing it. And I'm so proud of the way that it's being received so far.
Doing a TV movie like this, I've always wondered, because of your great work on designing women.
Thank you.
Doing this movie, is it easier doing something for television with an audience there and hearing their reaction, or not having an audience there?
Well, you have to get used to not having an audience. If you've grown up and your experience has been in the theater, for me, there are 3 elements in a performance: the material, and me, and the audience. There are 3 essential elements. And so learning to understand that there's a camera and that there is an audience, number 1, is difficult for me. And I've been doing it so many years, it's still difficult. But the other thing is, the good ones tell me, and I try to do that, that you must forget the camera, the audience is there. This just must be an intimate thing that's happening to you in your life The camera reads your mind. You don't perform as you would in a situation comedy. You have to perform because you have to get the laughs, because everyone can know if you're succeeding or not by whether or not they're responding to you out there. So this is very different. You mustn't even concern yourself with how anybody's receiving it. It has to be just honestly you and this other character. And of course, then there is the fill-up, the little additional understanding that the camera's there, the audience is there. So I think it's more difficult to do this for me. Long answer.
That's okay. You know, I'd rather have a long, honest answer than a short one.
Well, good. You got one. That's what you
well,
always get from me.
You know what? As long as we're talking honesty, are you surprised at the? I guess I just want to. I want to say the amount of popularity that Designing Women, not only that it had during its initial run, but it had throughout its cable run. Even today, it's still popular.
Yes. I'm surprised. I've been surprised all these years until now. And now I look at what's on television. And when I do see reruns of Designing Women, which is a mixed experience for me, because there's a sadness involved in having been a part of something so good that I don't see happening right now at all. Certainly not that genre.
Do you think?
Yeah, so I'm not surprised anymore at how it was received, because now I can see how darn good it was.
Do you think that the way situational comedy is now, are we going to see anything like that on broadcast television again?
I believe that the public will have to demand it. Jay Leno is going an hour early now, for heaven's sake. It's rather amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That means that at least for that network, no more 10 o'clock shows dissecting bodies or whatever they're planning to do, reading people's minds. Those shows are not going to be made this year. So what's the future for a situation comedy? You know, if the audience really wants it, there used to be Viewers for Quality Television got Designing Women back on the air after it had been canceled, after it had been moved 9 times and canceled. A wonderful group called Viewers for Quality Television inundated CBS with letters, thousands and thousands of letters. Letters have to be paid attention to, and the networks do. Letters mean viewers, mean people who buy the products that advertise, you know. So everybody who's seeing this, you can have another situation comedy if you want it. You just have to act. You have to write in and demand it. And it'll happen. We get what we see on television now because we allow it to come into our homes. We watch it, and we don't resist it.
Are you worried over a possible actor strike in the future?
Yes, I am. But it just can't be true that the internet explosion isn't going to afford zillions and zillions and zillions of monetary reward for a lot of folks. And when a situation is set up so that the actors will not participate in this monetary reward, which is exponentially going to grow. It's going to be enormous. Half the population of this country are now watching movies and TV product on their computers. So if screen actors don't just take the bull by the horns, scary, scary, scary as it is, we will be out of jobs that will allow us to earn a living in the business, and that's the truth of it.